I don't know if he really lives in Khabib's shot. I mean, tonight was a big step in the right direction. You know, the guy's been dominant.
I think it should absolutely. I mean, I'm number 2. You know, I knocked out Poirier. I mean, Charles Oliveira is ahead of me.
Yeah, he have to. No, January he cannot. He have big cut on his.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside the Cage, where we bring you the latest and exciting updates of UFC. First, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Jake Paul accepts MMA challenge. So, Jake Paul is making a comeback in the MMA world, and it looks like he's accepted an offer to face a UFC legend. After his win against Nate Diaz in August, he's set to step back into the octagon on December 15th, though we're still in the dark about who his opponent will be. It seems he won't be boxing Diaz again. But there's some buzz about the possibility of an MMA showdown between the two. Most Valuable Promotions, Jake Paul's promotional company, seems to be on board with the idea. Exciting times for the fight world. However, Jake Paul is diving headfirst into the MMA scene. He inked a deal with the Professional Fighters League, PFL, earlier this year. And just last month, he was calling out the former UFC superstar, who's 38 years old, for supposedly passing up on a whopping $10 million offer to step into the MMA ring with him. We're at the drawing board right now. Nate Diaz ducked the $10 million offer, so he's not the badass that everyone said he was, he revealed. I wanted to fight him in MMA and do something that no boxer has ever done, which is, in the prime of their career, go over to MMA. MMA fighters have gone over to boxing, but I want to go over to MMA, and Nate Diaz ducked the offer, Paul added. So I don't know if he was like, maybe the risk of this isn't good enough for the $10 million. Now, it's the million-dollar question. Will Diaz and Paul go at it again, but this time inside the MMA cage? It would certainly be a showdown for the ages if it happens. Dana White reveals the next Khabib of UFC. You know, after Islam Makhachev's big win at UFC 294, UFC CEO Dana White had some interesting things to say about him. During the post-fight press conference, he went into detail about the lightweight champ's performance. But then, the question came up about whether Makhachev could step out of Khabib Nurmagomedov's shadow. Dana White didn't seem too comfortable with that idea, and had some thoughts to share with the audience.
I don't know if he really lives in Khabib's shot. I mean, tonight was a big step in the right direction. You know, the guy's been dominant. Then he goes in and you know, all the controversy that came off that last fight, and he finishes this fight the way that he did. And again, there's no excuse. It's not like you say, oh, this thing went in the third round. Volkanovski didn't have enough time to train. He went in there and viciously, impressively finished this fight with a Crow Cop-esque kick to the head. It doesn't get any better than that against a very tough, durable guy who has a great chin. And, you know, you don't ever see anybody do that to Volkanovski.
And here's the interesting part. Dana White laid out a path he thinks Makhachev could follow to surpass the achievements of Khabib Nurmagomedov, the legendary eagle of MMA.
The truth is, when you look at Khabib, and nothing against Khabib, Khabib came in and won the title and defended, but this kid could go on a defense run that absolutely blows everybody away that ever held the belt in that division.
Dana White made another point during that press conference. Essentially, he expressed his preference for Makhachev to defend his lightweight title against all challengers first, before even thinking about moving up in weight. It's all about taking things one step at a time in the world of MMA.
Still got some guys to fight. But you listen, if he held the belt for you know, defends the belt for another year, you know, and wanted to move up, why not?
Moreover, Khabib decided to step away when he was at the top of his game. If Makhachev continues his journey, there are plenty of quality opponents he can add to his record. That's when we can truly have a meaningful debate about who accomplished more during their time inside the cage. Surely the MMA world is in for some exciting matchups in the future. Justin Gaethje's epic showdown request. This past weekend, Islam Makhachev had a swift victory over Alex Volkanovski at UFC 294. But what's interesting is that after the fight, Makhachev didn't appear too keen on having another rematch with Charles Oliveira, who unfortunately had to pull out of the fight due to an injury. In an interview, he gives his statement.
When you have rematch, it's like same. When you exactly same opponent, you're training like you did the same camp, you know, not make you happy. We're training last couple months for the same opponent, and I told the interview, like, you know, when they make the interview in Dubai, I told them, hey, I have the same feeling. Last year, I was here in the same gym, same team, you know, but when you prepare for some new opponents, it's different, you know, and you become good fighter when you be training for other opponent, because every other opponent have something more, something different.
Furthermore, Justin Gaethje had to say during his chat with ESPN, he made a pretty bold claim, saying he deserves the title shot next because it would be a fresh matchup. Also, he pointed out that Makhachev has already beaten Oliveira, so he's all about bringing something new to the table.
I think it should absolutely. I mean, I'm number 2. You know, I knocked out Poirier. I mean, Charles Oliveira is ahead of me, but you know, he obviously already lost to Makhachev. I have not fought Makhachev. It's a fresh matchup, a new matchup, and I think that's what the fans are looking for.
Well, it seems like Justin Gaethje might have his work cut out for him. While Dana White has weighed in on this, and he's already made it clear that he thinks Charles Oliveira should be the one to get the title shot next. Sometimes, the decision makers have their plans in mind, right? Guys, if you're enjoying the video, we'd love your support. Just hit that subscribe button to motivate us to bring you more exciting content. Makhachev's advice to Volkanovski after KO. Here, it's a bit of a mixed bag for Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski. Makhachev seems to be crossing his fingers that Volkanovski won't rush back into action in January. But after Makhachev's first-round knockout victory, Volkanovski isn't backing down. Surprisingly, he's pretty inflexible about staying active and hasn't ruled out a return in January. "I need to be busy," Volkanovski said after UFC 294. "Again, it's just, I think my purpose now is family and fighting. When I'm not fighting, I don't feel like I'm ticking all the boxes. I need to be ticking all the boxes. I don't like wasting time." While Alexander Volkanovski is all about staying active, Islam Makhachev seems to have a different perspective. He's suggesting that Volkanovski might want to consider taking some time off to let his body heal, especially after that knockout.
Yeah, he have to. No, January he cannot. He have big cut on his eye, and after this is, I know, he missed very good kick. That's why he have to take some rest, 100%. If he smart, if his team smart, he have to take some couple months rest, because this is not like choke him or like body kick. This is a head kick, and like not just coach. He's like doctor. He's doctor, and his team have to make decision. You know.
Next, what do you think will Alexander Volkanovski make a comeback in January? We're still in the dark about that. But if you were to ask Makhachev, he'd probably suggest that the featherweight champ takes a breather and considers coming back sometime next summer. See, fighter advice from a fellow fighter can be pretty valuable in these situations. Khabib's missing act at UFC 294. Last but not least, Khabib Nurmagomedov had a good reason for not being at UFC 294. And man, big props to Islam Makhachev for winning that rematch with Alexander Volkanovski. Whereas, it must have been awesome to get congratulations from his longtime training partner, Khabib, even if it was from the sidelines. "Best fighter in the world today," he wrote about Islam Makhachev on social media. "Love you, brother, and congratulations." You know, Khabib's been missing a couple of these Makhachev vs. Volkanovski matchups. But he did take a moment to clarify why he wasn't there to support his longtime teammate at UFC 294. "If you guys ask me where have I been? Why wasn't I in the corner? I already answered this question," Khabib wrote. "I don't go to fights, I don't go to the corner, and I completely left everything related to MMA. I ask you to accept my decision the same way as my brothers, friends, and sparring partners did," he continued. "What our team achieved will forever be in the history of MMA." Particularly, Khabib's story is quite remarkable. After his father and coach passed away, he decided to retire from MMA while at the peak of his career, maintaining a flawless 29-0 record. It's been no small feat, especially with Dana White trying to convince him back into the octagon multiple times. But Khabib kept his promise to his mother about not competing again. Meanwhile, he did transition into coaching for a while, in a way, following in his father's footsteps. He played a significant role in guiding fighters like Islam Makhachev and other teammates to major wins and titles in organizations. However, he eventually retired from coaching too. Now, as he mentioned in his post, Khabib has completely stepped away from the world of MMA. He's shifted his focus to his family, and it's clear he's made a firm commitment to that new chapter in his life. It's a pretty incredible journey and a testament to the importance of family for Khabib. All right, guys, that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you at the next one. Until then, Goodbye.